Thank you so much for staying here late. I'm going to keep my presentation short and hopefully we can have some Q&A. Let me just bottom. For those of you who are not familiar with Ringier, we are one of the largest publishers here in Vietnam. We've been here for over 20 years. But Ringier has a whole family of brands. Some of you may be familiar with them. Real estate portals, Mary, the largest wedding portal, the largest baby portal, Elle magazine. Now a lot of these brands are very well known. Again, we've been doing this for a very long time. The problem and the challenge for these brands is that a lot of them are very much Web 1.0 type of brands. So one of the things that we're doing now at Ringier is kind of rapidly moving our digital properties and our print properties into, well, I don't want to call it Web 2.0 because we've kind of left that. We're now into Web 2.5. With this idea of bringing social, mobile, and video into it. The other part of what we're doing, and the reason why I came over from the TV side into the digital side and back to the digital side, was because we're recognizing that there's a big hole in the market right now. And that big hole in the market has to do with the fact that we are being able to serve our clients with video. But the agencies right now and clients have all sorts of confusion. Nobody really actually knows what to do right now. And I say this because I am out 3 to 4 times a week meeting with clients. And one of the first things that I hear is we're moving more of our budgets away from television to digital. So I'll say, great, what does digital actually mean to you? What does that word mean? And one of the most amazing things, whether it's a major international agency, or whether it's actually a major international client, or a Vietnamese brand, that's actually a trick question. You ask people, you say, what does digital mean to you? And they'll say, well, it's Google, it's Facebook, they don't have a very precise view of it. Now here's one of the problems. The web right now, as we know it, has gone through a very big change. The confusion that people have about digital and how to allocate their spend is getting even more complicated by the fact that Vietnam, faster than other countries, is moving into video. Kevin gave a couple statistics, and I'll give you a little bit more detail on one of these. We heard directly from YouTube that as of May 2016, Vietnam is actually now the #1 country in Asia Pacific for time spent viewing at 50 minutes per user. So again, as we heard from Kevin, people are spending more and more time. We know for a fact that at every age group, this is 2015 data, so I imagine it's probably pretty much the same, 18 to 24, we see 3 things that people are doing. Search, video, social. 18 to 24, that's not a big surprise. We go to 25 to 34, what are we seeing as the most popular online activities? Video, search, social. Now, 35 to 44, same thing. Video, social, search. We know what people are doing. But yet, going back to my conversation with brands, they're not keeping up. The market has shifted. The market has shifted so fast that people aren't keeping up. Go to your favorite brands, from the Unilevers to the Toyotas, check out their YouTube channels. How are they actually feeding their YouTube channels? And what they'll say is they say they want to be engaged with their consumers. Now here's where the problem comes in. A big part of the problem are the agencies. The agencies are facing an existential crisis. Because on the one hand, the agencies have to keep up this perception that they're delivering big numbers back to their audience. And they're losing the TV buy as more and more of the business goes into digital. So now in the past year, one of the things the agencies are doing is they're pushing this model of the viral video. The viral video. You hear this all the time. It's really the most ridiculous concept you can possibly imagine. The idea that I'm going to create a viral video. Here's what happens. The agency takes their TV model. Now the agency was built on this TV model, and still to this day, most of the agencies still work on this model. So a TV model is 6 months of planning to build a TVC. Big budget to shoot a TVC, bring in the right director from Thailand, he comes in, he shoots the TVC, then you have 6 months of measurement and metrics. And what you're doing is you're charging huge premiums to do that. We were just at a major international agency in Hanoi on Tuesday, and I'm not kidding you. The the entire agency, except 4 people, were on an Italian getaway trip. An Italian getaway retreat for the agency. That's what you're paying for when you do these kinds of TVCs and these ads. So now they've recognized that this TVC business is going away. It's fading out because a lot of the big spenders are saying, we don't really want to spend $300,000 on a TVC anymore because we're not seeing the fact that our audience is now leaving us because they're watching Pops, they're watching YouTube. So now we need to go to digital. So the agencies have come up with this concept of the viral video. And what the viral video is it's basically now shifting the same budgets to digital as they did to TV. So now I'm seeing production budgets for $150,000 for a TVC on the web, or what they call, it's not really a TVC, it's this kind of 2-minute, 3-minute kind of funny video. Massive budgets. The problem is that how many brands can afford to do this on a regular basis? They can't. So what ends up happening is you're seeing these big brands blow huge budgets into a 3-minute video, and then the way they make it go viral is not because the video is actually created very well, is they're spending a massive amount of budget on boost. So it's really not that viral after all. So here's where the crisis comes in. More and more brands are saying, we don't want to be a part of this. And you're seeing this trend not only in Vietnam, but elsewhere around the world. Microsoft in Seattle has a content studio of about 35 to 40 people who work 24 hours a day doing creative content, social content. Emirates has 50 people in Dubai doing social and doing content. SAP has about 100 people in India and about 100 people in Germany doing content. More and more brands are taking back from their agencies content. I've had 2 conversations just this week with brands in Vietnam who are pulling back some of their digital spend from the agency because they want to do it themselves. And what they want to do is they want to work directly with publishers to create their content. Why? Because I'm going to go back to, go back up here. They want to reach these women. They want to reach men. They want to reach brides. They want to reach directly into this. We know this market better than the agency does, and I'm not going to take a 65% premium on it. I'm going to be able to do the buy and the spend right there. Plus, when we create the content, I'm going to give you back that content so that you can use that content anywhere you want on your owned and your earned media. So you're getting actually a double value out of it. You're getting the value of the content that we make, plus the fact that I'm going to give you that content. So we have this concept here called one video, many uses. The strategy when our content studio now is working with clients is that we're not designing a piece of content for a one-time use, because my goal when I work with a client is not to simply get as much money out of that client for that one time. I'm trying to build a relationship with the client because YouTube and Facebook and all of these digital platforms, they are beasts that need to be fed every single week. They need to be fed as much as you can feed them. And the big problem with the big brands and the agencies is they don't understand that. The big brands are still spending way too much money on these big viral videos or these TVCs. So what they're doing is they're feeding once a month, once every 3 months, and you're not getting that relationship with the consumer. You're not showing up in their feed enough. You're not building the dialogue. You're not interacting enough with the consumer when you do that. That's what I say we have a huge problem. So my goal is to work with brands and companies so that we can create the maximum value so that I have a long-term sustained relationship with them. So let me give you an example. We worked with a major auto manufacturer on this model. We created a video for them. One video. The video was used in their in-store display, so the monitor's inside. Great. The video was put onto TV on FBNC. The video was put onto their social media channels, both YouTube on a long-term basis, but also into their Facebook feeds. They used the video at the auto show and at regional events. That same video was sent to all of their customer base who had the older model that they wanted to upsell into the newer model. The video was used on their website. The video was also used as a giveaway. So when the client came in and was looking at the car, the next day the salesperson said, "We saw that you were looking at this car. We thought we want to send you a video for it." The idea of using one video, many uses. This is a very different culture of producing video than agencies do. And this is why publishers are now becoming the existential threat, the real threat to the agencies. This is why companies like Vice in the West have become more effective at producing digital video than the holding company agencies. This is why we've seen the rise of Fox, why we've seen the rise of all these new players in the digital advertising space, because there's an opening. Right now in Vietnam, and I imagine it's probably the same in other markets, there's two extremes when it comes to the advertising and the digital marketing space. You've got the big agencies, the group M companies, Mindshare, all of them, spending big money, huge money, and taking those Italian vacations back. And then you also have this lower extreme in the local agency side, which is spending 2 to 5 million, no joke, 2 to 5 million VND to produce a video. Neither one of those is sustainable in the long run. The sweet spot is in that 200 million space. That sweet spot is in about 100 to 200 million of being able to produce steady, regular content, to be able to feed onto the YouTube networks, to feed into Pops, to feed into Facebook, so that you can have over the course of a year a sustained campaign. We're starting to hear a little bit of this sense coming from clients. We had an auto manufacturer who came to us and says they want 36 videos for the course of a year. It's good. That's the direction we need to go in. This auto manufacturer, incidentally, has pulled back from their agency to produce this, which is why they're coming to us. So for all of those you working in the agencies, you have to understand that your business is under threat. Your business is not sustainable in its current form. William Sorrell, the holding company chairman, he knows this. The agencies know this, but they can't stand losing that money in those margins. So the challenge is, in this space now, as brands, as publishers, as consumers, we have to go back and follow what the consumer has done. In this case, the consumer has moved much faster than we have, or certainly than the brands have, and we're playing catch up. I encourage you to take a look at how many brands have done Facebook Live videos. It is pathetically small. Right now, this is the golden era of Facebook Live, because Mark Zuckerberg, in all his generosity, is letting you get a free boost. They're putting it right up to the top. If you get Facebook Live, you get into the feed without paying a boost. 6 months from now, that won't be the case. What are brands doing? Except for Pepsi, they're all sitting on the sidelines. Why? Because they're too afraid. I talked to an agency last week. They said, oh, we did Facebook Live, and it was the biggest piece of crap you've ever seen. They put a phone, they had no microphones, they had no MC, and they're kind of talking about how proud they are doing Facebook Live. They have no idea what they're doing, but yet they're charging their client a fortune for this. So you as clients, if you're on the client side, you have to get educated quickly to keep up with where the audience is. You on the agency side have to understand that the current model that you're doing is unsustainable. And we on the publishing side, we have to move much faster to evolve our businesses. Because if our businesses don't evolve as quickly as where this is going, we're going to go the same way where the agencies are going. So I can go on for a lot longer, but I'll save a little bit of time for questions, but I wanted to thank you for the time. And that's it. Thank you.